Hello and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. My name is AJ Pepley and I'm joined by Bryce Jensen. We are so excited to have tonight's stream for PEC Super Smash Bros. It's going to be a real great one, going up against the Kansas University Jayhawks. Now Bryce, we've seen a lot going on with our Super Smash Bros. Team in the past. Things have changed a lot. New players, new excitement, new characters, all that jazz. Now, I'm curious about your opinion with how things have been going recently. What do you think is going to happen given how last week went? And how do you think that's going to change things going forward?
Well, I think that coming off a really a very, very good game last week, I think that the Broncos have a little bit of a renewed confidence in themselves. Taking that win was definitely something that they needed. Kansas, on the other hand, is facing sort of the opposite problem. They were very dominant last year, but they're also kind of in a lull right now. Both of them are at a 1-2 record, 1 win, 2 losses, so fairly even terms for both of these teams. And I think that Boise State has a really good chance to go neutral here. I think that if they leverage their cards right, they start to play off that momentum, they can definitely ride that wave all the way to victory.
You know, I wasn't here casting last time. That was Audrey. We love Audrey. But I was in the broadcast room, and I was screaming my head off for like half that time. Sitting there on the replay machine, pressing that replay button every single time something crazy happened. I was going crazy. I was loving it. And I could hear everyone else out here cheering, too. It was so much excitement, so much engagement, and I'm really hoping they're able to use that to their advantage because just being able to do that, it's so, so cool. Last week was a neck-and-neck fight between Nebraska and Minnesota, taking the game to 2-1 in favor of the Cornhuskers. The Broncos took their first win against the Bear in a 2-0 sweep. Syracuse took the last W on the board against the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, overall, a very good week last week for Super Smash Bros. A lot of very dominant performances, and overall, just some great games.
I'm so excited to see what happens going forward, especially Supersonic. Look at his face.
Oh, yeah.
He's so excited. And in an attempt to educate the audience on the PEC and their schools, we started with a quick Q&A with our players about Kansas. Jacob Palmer was our man on the street to see what our players knew about the Jayhawks.
And our next one.
Oh, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like this logo. This one has character. That's the Kansas University Jayhawks.
What university is this bird home to?
Kansas University.
And where are they?
Kansas.
And
How about Topeka?
no, this is legitimately the hardest one of the night. No one's gotten it.
It's like all these like weird Midwest states.
Do you know where you live? Do you know where you live?
Can you think of any other city in Kansas besides Topeka?
Oh, Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I have no clue.
And I don't even have any clues for it. It's so tough. They're in Lawrence.
Lawrence. Okay.
Kansas.
I'm not even going to try
This is
here.
bad.
It's
This is-
Lawrence.
this is-
Lawrence, Kansas.
Lawrence, Kansas. Yeah, that was not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly surprised they knew about that because I don't even know where Lawrence is.
I didn't either, but what we do know is our roster for tonight. We've got Eric, Tyler, Alexis, Nolan, and Jonathan. I know it's a bit of a mix-up with how things went last year. I know we brought that up a lot, but I do really like this composition we've got going so far, especially Nolan. I'm going to shout him out. He's my favorite to watch so far. But going along with that, we've got Doc's keys to the game. In Super Smash Bros., look for the 2-frame, roll to dodge, remember to taunt, and once again, remember to 2-frame. Look for the 2-frame. It's so important we had to say it twice. Additionally, this is brought to you by Blue Ribbon Painting. Hey esports fans, while you're here cheering for the best in gaming, let us introduce you to the MVPs of painting, Blue Ribbon Painting. With over 90 years of combined experience, we're proud to be Boise's go-to team of local, multi-generational painters who know exactly how to level up your home. Ready to transform your space? Visit blueribbonpainting.net to schedule your free estimate.
And these are going to be very, very important in order to keep that win streak going for Boise State. We are actually going into a very good matchup for Boise. Something to know about Kansas is that they lost a lot of their linchpin players. Last year, they had a particular Luigi player who was a menace. And in fact, I think he took out a lot of Boise State stocks all by himself. So really, the Jayhawks relied on him a lot for their strategy. And now that he is gone, he's graduated, they're going to have to figure out a way to patch that hole.
I'd also like to add, it's a lot of a mental thing, too. I bring up mentality a lot when it comes to esports, because I find it to be very important as much as skill and communication, anything like that. A lot of the time, a team has somebody who's like a mental or supportive backbone, and it makes it a lot easier for the team to support, to to communicate and do well as a whole. And if they're going to lose somebody as impactful and as influential as this Luigi, we don't know the player's name, unfortunately, but he was so powerful and so good at this game. It gave them a lot of hope and a lot of strategy, prowess, all that things. And without having him there, it's going to be a lot harder for the team to continue to be in that moral state. Maybe they're able to make it work with the new team, but it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how they go through it. I know Boise State was sort of in the same scenario just a few weeks ago at the start of the season, losing a really good player, Leia Dog, to graduation. I make it sound like he went away somewhere, but no, he didn't. He just entered the workforce. He's out of college now. He can't play. But
getting old.
I feel like Boise State had a little bit of a better way to adapt to it. Almost every player on this team either came back from last year or was on a little bit of a break coming back to the game. I know that Melfor and Mata have both played for this team before. Mata rejoined last year at the very end of the season. Melfor is joining us again for another season of PEC, or for this season of PEC Super Smash Bros. So while Boise State did lose a column of the backbone, they had enough. They had enough to fix the patch, if you will.
Absolutely. Now I know this is off topic, but I do feel the need to point it out, especially because you and I were talking about this before the stream started. I'm seeing something of very interesting interest, if you will. We're seeing an Olimar mirror match going on there at the very end, given the fact that this is the dual system now.
Yes.
Basically, no matter what, Supersonic and Reisenlove are going to be going against each other. These are like the two only Olimar players ever. And they're fighting each other head-to-head in tonight's game. And I think that's really funny and really entertaining. And I also think, I remember last week, Supersonic was saying that he is much, much better than the other Olimar. So that makes things a lot more interesting, too.
Yeah, we were told before the broadcast started that we might not see the Olimar mirror matchup because Reisenlove was a little scared of it. He didn't want to match Supersonic. He was a little bit too slow, if you will. He couldn't quite go Supersonic. But yeah, we were told beforehand that we may not see it because the Olimar v. Olimar matchup is already hard, but if you don't know the matchup super well, you're not very comfortable with it, it's going to be very hard to get it over with. However, Supersonic is in kind of the opposite state. He feels really good about the matchup. He feels good about it, and it's going to be really difficult for Reisenlove to really get into it. And something that Reisenlove probably doesn't have either is fans in the stadium too. So that'll definitely come to help out. So expect it to get loud when he shows up on screen. But moving back to match number 1, we got Peach and Greninja, Mata and Spinky. I think it's Spinky 9696.
I'm going with Spink, personally.
Spink.
It flows a little better on the tongue.
Spink.
You know? I'm sorry to this player if we're pronouncing your name wrong. We are
Spinky.
so mean to you. I know.
I'm calling him Spinky because I think that's how it's supposed to be. But
what if you're wrong?
I will take being wrong because Spinky is very fun
I will
to
also
say.
take being wrong. This is a lesson for you kids out there, is you need to accept when you're wrong because that's really good for you.
Unless it's funny. But
anyways.
Okay. Moving on to the more technical side of things, Greninja and Peach is a very interesting matchup. Peach is a character we don't see super often, but has a lot in her kit. Peach can stay away from people incredibly easy using her turn-ups. She's one of the few characters in this game that can produce an item that anyone can grab, no matter what the stage is, no matter if items are turned on or not. With her down special, she's able to generate a turnip or a bomb-bomb if she's very lucky, which is incredibly useful depending on the situation. So really, Spinky is... I'm still determining what I want to say because there's like 4 different ways to say it, but I'm probably going to end up switching around. Back to it. A lot of ranged options for Peach, a lot of approach options, a lot of combos. Greninja is going to be looking for very similar things. Instead of using projectiles, going to be looking more to run you down, make sure Peach can't really do anything. Sort of the same as a Steve matchup, where you don't want the Steve to be left to his own devices, but...
Hey, at least we're not seeing a Steve.
Yeah, we're not seeing a Steve.
Thank goodness.
We don't have to have the Steve Slayer break out.
And the interesting thing about the turnips being grabbable by anybody is I feel like with some other matchups we might see that. Like if it was Melfor going up against him, then maybe we'd see that because Bowser has very few ranged options, basically just fire and that's it. But since Greninja is already so heavily focused on that ranged aspect with the water shurikens, I feel like we won't really see Mata picking it up at all, just given the fact that they've already got that range capabilities anyways. So I don't imagine this matchup will really see that turnip being brought out to its mechanical capabilities, if you know what I mean.
Probably not, especially because Greninja is so quick.
The water shurikens are a lot faster than throwing turnips at people.
That is true. So. Also, Peach is deceptively fast as well, which is something that I'm not really used to. You don't expect someone in a dress and high heels to move that quick, but
You'd be
speaking
surprised.
of moving quick, we're moving straight into the game. Spinky versus Mata.
Starting things off with a button check, just making sure everything goes according to plan. And if they don't taunt at the end, I'm going to be pretty sad because that's so important. I don't think it was in Duck's keys. I don't remember.
It is the most important thing. You have to remember to taunt.
It's the key. If there's any lock, that's the one that opens it.
Also, we were wrong. It is not Peach. It is Daisy. Very important distinction.
Yes, of course. Either way, they are a princess from the Mario series, so basically the same thing.
Yep, Turnip's getting thrown out, trying to find something, but not really going to find anything. Mata is going to be the first one to find damage in this matchup. Lots of damage coming through.
Good blocks, just being able to use the shield to avoid damage. Trying to get up in her face, but one attack finally being traded back onto Mata.
Yeah, lots of damage from Mata in the very beginning, but nothing really found afterwards. But good combos out of Daisy is going to force Mata to back off just a little bit. Big grab out of Daisy. Going to force Mata off stage.
Now it's to 78%. Mata is falling behind just a little bit, but they've got a lot of room to work with. Missing the grab just barely. Though no riposte from the Peach player.
Ooh,
good combo.
Good combo starter with the up air. Good stuff. Good stuff out of Mata. Good damage being brought on. As Greninja, you need to do that because your killing threshold is not nearly as high as Daisy's is. Daisy can hit a lot harder than you and move almost as quick, so it's going to be very imperative that you deal more damage. But, isn't able to get there. Substitute's going to get him down, and he's off the stage once again. No longer has a jump to work with, but Aqua Jet, just still being ledge guarded
finally
very well.
gets back
but
on
he's able to
neutral.
get on! He lives!
The directional input keeps him alive. The water shuriken nearly hitting, but unfortunately getting smacked by the turnip. Good smack to avoid it, knock it out of the air. Almost get hit by that one on the return back to neutral platform.
That is where counters come in handy, but a dash attack is going to close things out. Daisy takes the first stock. Spinky going with the first stock. That's really good for Kansas. However, they're going to need to get two more. Mata still has a good way to come back, but with Daisy's aerial game, they're not looking to let him get any closer.
Those turnips hit a lot harder than I think they should. What are these turnips made out of?
Well, I mean, turnips are the most disgusting vegetable, so it makes sense that it would deal so
It's
much
emotional damage, you're right.
Yeah.
Speaking of emotional damage, getting down to 124% on the health bar.
Also, speaking of emotional damage, turnips actually deal more damage depending on what expression they are. So the fact that Kansas is able to really match through them, even with a dash attack, not able to finish out the kill, but still Mata's down 2 stocks.
That's a tough thing. The damage is just so high, and poor Mata is doing their best to be able to return it, but just can't land anything. The water shurikens are not hitting, finally landing one attack. With the dodging, it's just too much to handle.
You're going to need a little bit more than one attack in order to really send Daisy flying. A good hit to take them off their feet, but Spinky is really getting a lot more mileage out of their moveset than Mata is right now.
Greninja isn't heavy enough to do those few and far attacks to deal the high enough damage. Close to being able to take at least one stock before the end, but it's tough. Turnip going up into the air, trying to make contact to read Mata's moves before they make it, but isn't able to find anything. They're both trading blows. Nothing's landing.
Yeah, nothing is landing. There we go. There's a good hit. Mata put some points on the board, getting the first stock taken. Even if you lose, the best case scenario is that you take 2 stocks with you. You score your maximum amount of points. You're still down 2. However, you keep yourselves in the game. Losing by 2 stocks is not fun one way or another, but especially in this point system. Good damage coming through. Mata's forced off the stage. He's able to get back, but good aerials out of the Daisy is able to keep him up.
Can't get back up on neutral.
Yeah, the ledge guard game
letting him get onto the ledge. Fortunately, he gets back up on stage. Fighting for his life. But man, the Daisy damage is just too much to handle.
Yeah, lots of damage coming through. Those side specials are doing exactly what you want them to do if you're Spinky. Good down air, and that's going to bounce off the stage. Kansas takes the lead 4-1.
Man, what an impressive start for Kansas there. Fortunately, Mata was able to get that first point, which is all they can really ask for in a situation like that. But man, that Daisy was just tough.
Yeah, Daisy is just a tough character to play into.
I wasn't expecting the damage, even still.
Daisy and Peach have a unique ability to hover, which allows them to ledge guard incredibly well. Greninja wants to play off the stage. He has the recovery in order to get up. Unfortunately, when you're going up against a good ledge guard, you can't really do a whole lot about that. And I feel like Mata played really well to their abilities, just unfortunately was not quite able to get that damage in there where they needed. However, moving forward, we have Gokis on the Snake and Mander on the Pokemon Trainer.
Well, we'll see how well Gokis is able to play the bomb spam, because, that's Snake. That's what he does. We love him for it. I just think it's interesting because I love Pokemon trainer and the fact that he's just got a whole slew of different moves given the different Pokemon that he has access to. I know that's just a personal interest of mine, and it doesn't really add a whole lot to the technicality of it, but I think it's cool.
Who would win? The entire, all of the munitions offered to the United States Army, or
Every
one
Pokemon.
child with magical creatures?
Well,
But
we'll see soon.
It'll be an interesting matchup for Pokemon Trainer. He's got a lot of stuff to clear the distance. You have 3 different characters of 3 different weights. Squirtle in the very light category. You have Ivysaur in a little bit heavier. And Charizard filling out the heavyweight category as one of the heaviest characters in the game, having a lot of that knockback resistance, plus a pretty decent recovery, all things considered. I mean, it's no Kirby or King Dedede recovery, but it's no Little Mac recovery either. So it'll be hard for Gokis to really rely on all of the spam damage to really get the kills there. He's going to have to work for him a little bit harder, use his neutral game a little better. However, it's also going to be hard for Pokemon Trainer to really get up close and personal, because Squirtle's off the table. Like, just bar none, off the table.
He's getting exploded.
Yeah. Ivysaur is a little bit better of a pick. You're a little bit heavier. You have a lot more grappling options. You have a little bit more range. But I think we're going to see mostly Charizard out of Mander. But also, Mander is new to the scene.
Going right into it, apparently.
Yeah,
and we're
going
seeing
straight
Squirtle.
into it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine with the damage, it's just going to be good to keep spamming those bombs, just slowly chip away at the health bar until eventually they get a good moment to deal that killing blow.
Yeah, Gokis has been slowly improving on the Snake as well. So we've seen a lot of improvement out of him and his abilities too. Good damage.
C4 combo.
Yeah, and that's just the hard thing about going up against Snake. You think you're doing a lot of damage, and then one wrong move leads you to be taking a ton of damage.
Suddenly you step on 3 different grenades. Man.
All of the explosives. Big damage from Snake.
Ooh.
No grab comes through, but also Ivysaur misses it as well. Mander not quite able to find anything significant except for that grab.
nasty.
What a grab into an aerial. That's enough to
right
do it,
onto
but
the
right on the
C4.
landmine.
Insane.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think that is your unbottled play of the game. Presented by local dairy farm families. Recover, refuel, perform, repeat. Visit unbottled.com to learn more. Of course, the plant monster stepping on the landmine has to be play of the game.
You know, it's going to be a good game when you get that early of an unbottled play. And honestly, I was screaming at it too, so I can't blame you. Ooh, yeah. We are seeing Charizard getting brought out finally.
Yep.
Struggling to land the hits yet. Gokis is on point.
Oh,
with these blocks.
no,
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
a good up smash.
I shouldn't have said that.
Hey.
That was so my fault.
Hey, Caster Curse is a real thing.
It is, I know. I should have known better.
C4 does manage to get out of Gokis and the Snake, just trying to find a little bit of damage in here, build Ivysaur's percentage up just a little bit more. Lots of damage coming through, manages to use the up special, has to grenade himself though, which is a little bit of damage that Ivysaur doesn't have to do. Already up to 60, hugging the edge of that blast zone. Really dangerous for a character with such good aerials such as Ivysaur. So it'll be, what is his plan here?
I'm not sure. Ivysaur is definitely giving Pokemon Trainer the best buck here. We'll see if that's able to persist. Like I said, a lot of good blocks coming out, but just struggling to trade blows. But another good grab into another combo, taking Gokis off the stage.
Yeah, Ivysaur's his up air just does so much damage in such a small area that it's really hard to justify not using it at any given at any given moment. Plus, you're seeing the projectile spam come out, and once again, look at that up air just over and over again, and it's
so
going to be
hard.
enough.
Oh,
but a
but
kick to the teeth sends the
Beautiful.
dinosaur flying.
We're seeing the Dragon getting brought back out for the final stock, hoping to be able to take advantage of the low health.
I saw that spike, Mander. You're not going to get that easy. The recovery's too good for you to get it.
Oh, good dodge into the slide, into another grab. Putting a Dragon in a chokehold is crazy.
And then laid down incredibly lightly. It's fighting game, but a good forward air is going to close things out. Mander expanding the Kansas lead to 8-3.
Went a little bit better that time around. Goki's able to take 2 of the stocks. I definitely did see the most damage coming out from that Ivysaur. I know we mentioned the fact that the Charizard was probably going to be the most seen player there. But yeah, the Ivysaur with that up special and the projectile spam, I guess that just either threw Gokis off or just made it difficult for him to do anything with his grenades. So that definitely caused the most problems for him that time around.
During the game, if you watch where he was playing in a really good spot, just above and below the platforms where Gokis was. Mander did a really good job at spacing out the Snake, making sure nothing could really get to him. Not falling for the traps that Snake really needs you to do, and also not really giving him the space to set them up in the first place. He was running him down the entire game. And with such a bread and butter combo as the grab, down throw, up air, you just saw stock after stock. But moving past that one, good job to Gokis for taking 2 at the very least. Melfor is going to be playing Post-Mortal. Bowser versus Ness. Heavy versus Light. Child versus Giant Lizard.
You unfortunately beat me to it. I was going to make a joke about a giant lizard fighting a child. I mean, this child is very powerful. I wouldn't want to fight this child either. But I've seen how Melfor plays on that very, very up-in-your-face, high-pressure strategy. And I feel like that will work pretty well against the Ness here. We'll see if that ends up persisting. But just given how Melfor plays, being able to just hit once, sending somebody light like Ness off the stage at like 30% of health in one punch, that might just give him what he needs to make those successful plays.
I mean, he is the most aggressive Bowser player I've ever seen. There's a reason that we call him the Steve Slayer here. He just runs them down all the time. It's on site with Melfor. That's what it is.
Well,
and that's really going to be how he wins against Ness here, just running him down the entire game, not giving him a chance to breathe, and that's what it looks like it's going to happen here. PK Fire goes through, is going to get a little bit of early damage. Thing is, it doesn't really matter because all that damage just gets brought right back.
One good turtle shell spin, and he goes down up to 35% with another good side swipe.
Yeah, just side swipes all the time. However, gotta give it to Post-Mortal, being able to get that damage on just as quickly, but Melfor is going to take the damage lead. Whirling Fortress coming through as a very consistent source of damage.
And keeping the pressure high, getting up in his face, a good slam onto the Ness, taking him down. Another tilt, bringing up to 108%. The Ness is low on health. Poor Post-Mortal's trying to find one good situation to be in. A good grab takes Melfor off the stage, but a swipe right off into
there we go.
Side air, taking him off. First stock goes down.
Yeah, you've heard of a kick in the teeth before, but that was not what you want to see.
That was a kick to everything. His legs are the size of Ness.
Big, not really much damage coming through from either side. Post-Mortal really just looking for something here, but a good PK Fire is going to send him off the stage. Melfor looking at a lot of damage here. However, it's going to take a lot to knock him away, especially with Ness. A good little spike is going to get him down to the floor. However, Melfor hasn't really been able to get anything great. A few Whirling Fortresses here and there, and while that percentage is high, not quite enough to take the Ness out.
Just trying to stay prepared, tries to hit him off of it, but a good parry into a grab takes him down. Insane.
That will be enough to take Melfor down a stock. However, he's still in a good spot. Bowser Bomb goes through, not going to find anything. However, Whirling Fortress will, sending Ness off to the side. Post-Mortal needs to get back on stage here. Is able to get back, but can't he do much more? PK Fire comes through, but you're going to need to deal more damage than that.
All he needs is one good tilt to take down the Ness here, but he can't get it in his
Oh,
face.
there it goes.
Turns towards Ness that time. I had to make it even.
Yeah, Post-Mortal knew it. Ness knew that one attack would spell his doom, and unfortunately, he just did not see him, which is kind of ironic considering Melfor is playing the biggest character in the game, but damage is still racking up on both sides. Melfor looking at almost 100%, a little bit the same scenario that he was in last time. If he can find another stock here, that puts him within one stock in a really good position to win.
Close. 70% almost off the stage. Into the fire. He preps the charge attack, but whiffs it.
He tried to read the roll there. It didn't quite go through, though.
Hey, he's still doing good. Almost matching Ness's health at this point. 90 to 110%. Just a couple more good swings to take down the Ness. One good hit up. They trade a blow at the same time. A good grab into the slam. Take him down.
And that's going to be enough. Boise State gets it close. Sitting at 8-9. Moving into the final round.
That was insane. Man, I saw that grab, and I knew Ness was getting taken a ride off screen.
He got taken for a ride, and it's a hard matchup for Ness. I mean, you got to deal enough damage to outpace the... To pretty much just outpace the other person. But speaking of the final round, this is going to be the most important one.
This is the most exciting one, if you ask me.
versus Raisin Loaf.
Yeah, it's an Olimar Mirror matchup with a crew in the back, really excited and really cheering. I mean, they've been cheering the whole time. Don't get me wrong. But, like, this is who they're here for. They're here for the Olimar Mirror match. I'm here for the Olimar Mirror match. This is what I'm looking forward to.
And you know what?
It's great.
Mirror matches are always a little bit fun because you only have to explain one side because both people are looking for the same thing. Basically, it's going to come down to who gets the better Pikmin, who's able to cycle
through. Who gets
the
purple every time?
Well, I mean, it's the same cycle every single time. You pull them out in the same order.
Well, yeah.
However, it's who can keep that who can keep their Pikmin, who can get the right ones at the right time, because blues are going to be really good for throws. Purples are going to be really good for dealing the damage. Who's going to be playing the stage a little bit better and controlling that zone, as well as who's going to stay on stage the longest, because it's something that Olimar does tend to struggle with, being off stage. And there's a little rumor that I've heard floating around the arena that the loser of a matchup between Supersonic and Raisin Loaf, because they both play Olimar, is going to be forced to play Alf, one of the Olimar skins, who got demoted from alternate fighter to alternate skin for Olimar. So
Tragic.
It'll be a fun game to watch, because you know that the loser might just be playing someone a little different for the rest of the season.
I don't know. You said it was a rumor. Can we always trust rumors around here?
Yes.
I don't know, Bryce. Don't listen to him. He's a bad influence. Nobody listen to him out in the crowd. He knows the game. He doesn't know the life. Don't take a life skills class.
Well, what is life if not a big game?
Life is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yes,
you heard
it
it here,
is.
folks. Life is Super Smash Bros.
I mean, they draw a lot of parallels.
Anyways.
Like, you can solve a lot of arguments by playing Super Smash Bros.
You know, Bryce, you're really, really good at throwing off my groove.
I
you
am
know
very
that?
good.
That's what really makes us thrive.
I am the rock and the record player. That is what I am.
You know, that threw me off too,
Throwing
because
you off
I've
your
also
groove.
never heard that phrase before.
I
Maybe
just
that's
made it up.
I should have known better. I should have known better being on stage. I don't know if you guys can hear it out there. Crowd is cheering the moment Supersonic came up on camera, which I should be cheering too. I love him. He's awesome. I love you, Supersonic. I love Olimar players. I didn't make a bet, but I think I should. That I should start learning Olimar so I can be the third Olimar player ever. I feel like it'd be cool. We can make it like a Triforce.
Give Boise State the majority of
66.66% of Olimar players.
Yep.
Maybe so. I mean,
maybe I'll just transfer to Kansas and play Olimar too.
Wow,
You're
just my rival. You're my rival, Bryce. you hate me.
No, I don't want to go all the way to Kansas. I've been to Kansas before. Too humid.
Wow, you're just throwing shade at Kansas right now.
I'm not throwing shade at Kansas.
You are
I mean,
totally
to each their
throwing
own,
shade
but it's too wet. I don't like. I like it up here.
Kansas, if you're
It's
listening,
dry.
he's being mean to you, and you shouldn't take that.
You know what? Yes, I am, Kansas. Come for me.
Let's Super Smash Bros. Is a game. We're not going to do violence IRL, guys. Be nice to each other, please. I beg you.
Thing is, I know the Kansas State caster, so he's a cool guy.
Did you say Kansas State? I heard that.
Yes,
I
did.
told him I would shun him live on camera
I
if
need
he
to
said
be shunned.
Kansas
It's
State.
Kansas.
We have the game starting. They interrupted my shunning to start the game. Olimar mirror matchup, what we've all been waiting for in the first game.
Yeah, Olimar mirror matchup going exactly how I thought it would. Just Pikmin on Pikmin. How do we know who's whose? There's no colors.
We don't, honestly. There's like a little arrow every once in a while, but that's all we've got. All I do know is the health meters are relatively the same right now, 40 to 43%. Kansas University falling slightly behind now by 0.6%, but it's just little plant tree just being thrown back and forth. I don't really know what's happening.
Yeah, Olimar really lacks a way to knock the Pikmin off of himself like a lot of other characters have, so it's going to be interesting to see how much the Pikmin that attach really play a part in it. Oh no, Supersonic is falling behind in points just a little bit, misses out on the spike. Kansas not quite able to find it. Raisin Loaf, unfortunately, might have to stick to banana bread because the raisins are not quite coming through.
What are you talking about?
I like banana bread more than raisins. I don't like raisins.
You know, I have noticed a difference. We do see the Kansas player wearing a gray fit, while Supersonic's playing yellow. So at least that gives us something to work with.
That is true. Pikmin sticking all over the place. However, Kansas is getting a little bit more out of it. Raisin Loaf is doing a little bit more, getting a few more sticks in. The slam! Big hits onto Supersonic, and that's going to take him down the first stock. However, Raisin Loaf is also fairly high up there. One good hit from a purple, one good throw from a blue, and that'll spell doom.
Kansas just needs to take one more stock, and they'll get it to at least a tie. Boise State has to win the whole thing if they want to win this first game. So it's a bit of a tough place for Supersonic to be in. Fortunately, he's got the Kansas player up to 125%. One good hit will take him down.
Oh, good up air is going to take Supersonic up pretty high percentages. However, how is he going to push that advantage? Kansas hasn't really wanted to play super aggressive with their Olimar here very fast. But
they should be playing a Supersonic.
Yeah, but with that being said, Supersonic also hasn't really been able to find very much with it. Good grab, though. Results in a back throw. Not enough to get him off, though.
Tries to go for the
he
spike,
misses the spike.
and then Kansas tries to repay it, but neither of them are able to find anything. Kansas goes for the swing on the purple Pikmin and it misses it, but it gets the throw. Oh, good slam.
Smacks the Pikmin into the ground. What an up throw with the blue. That is going to take him up 2 stocks.
Now we're going to be seeing at least a tie. Supersonic has to take all 3 stocks if he wants a chance at least tying the game. But the pressure's just so high from this Olimar player.
No, if he takes all 3 stocks, he wins.
No, it'll be a tie. It's 4 points if you win. 11 to 11.
Oh, yes. You're right, but unfortunately it won't come down to that as Kansas is going to take it fairly convincingly.
A 91% stock take on a light character is not something I've seen before. That caught me off guard, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, the Blues throw very, very hard. They might as well, you would honestly think that they play shot put with how well those blue Pikmin are able to throw. However, that is going to result in round 1 going to Kansas, and that means Kansas is on match point.
They are. Fortunately, it's just game 1. Boise State still has quite a bit of room to work with. So it's nothing to be particularly worried about, I'd say. But I believe we are going to a break, if I'm not mistaken, while the players get everything figured out, get themselves situated, talk some things out. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for game number 2.
My friends know me as Derek, but I'm also Master Sergeant Raxter. This is my life in the Air National Guard.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. Is finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great? Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Let me show you what I got.
With the Dairy West Fueling Station, we really wanted to create a place that our players could come and be fueled and hydrated in a healthy way, fuel their minds, fuel their bodies so they can compete at the highest level. Dairy West has really allowed us to do that, and we're excited to see what this space turns into. This is only phase 1. There's many iterations to come. It's truly unique in college esports, and we're excited to see how that continues to evolve. We're really thankful for Dairy West's support and look forward to continue working with them.
Let me show you what I got.
neutral platform.
That is where counters come in handy, but a dash
there it
attack
goes.
is going to close things out. Daisy takes the first stock. Spinky.
Take at least one stock before the end, but it's tough. Turnip going up into the air, trying to make contact to read Modest moves before they make it, but isn't able to find anything. They're both trading blows. Nothing's landing.
Yeah, nothing is landing.
Oh,
There we go. There's a good hit.
Pokemon Trainer the best buck here. We'll see if that's able to persist. Like I said, a lot of good blocks coming out, but just struggling to trade blows every while. But another good grab into another combo, taking Goki's off the stage.
Yeah, Ivysaur is up. His
Down, another tilt. Bring up to 108%. The Nest is low on health. Four Post Mortals trying to find one good situation to be in. A good grab takes Melfor off the stage. But a swipe right off.
There we go.
Side air taking him off.
Melfor hasn't really been able to get anything great. A few Whirling Fortresses here and there, but while that percentage is high, not quite enough to take the Ness out.
Just trying to stay prepared. Tries to hit him off of there, but a good parry into a grab. Takes him down. Almost matching Ness's health at this point. 90 to 110%. Just a couple more good swings to take down the Ness. One good hit up. They trade a blow at the same time. A good grab into the slam. Take him down.
And that's going to be enough. Boise State.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena for Game 2 of Super Smash Bros. Boise State University up against Kansas University. Once again, I am your host, AJ Pepley. Joined with me is Bryce Jensen, and I am so excited to see what happens here for Game 2. Something I want to start this off by saying is, unfortunately, Boise State did not have such a great round starting things off. Specifically, we saw, well, Melfor, he did great. 2 stock Slayer, that's what we've been calling him. 2 stock Steve Slayer, considering he's been pretty consistently getting 2 stocks at the end. But the other 3, they're struggling a little bit. How do you think they're going to be able to rebound here?
Yeah, definitely not the way that they wanted to start off the round. Of course, you had Melfor doing what he does best, taking 3 while keeping 2. However, we saw a lot of mistakes made in the first few matchups with Gokis and Mata, and of course, at the very end, Supersonic was not quite able to pull through. However, of course, that was just round 1. A lot of stuff can happen in between round 1 and round 2. I think they internalized a lot of the stuff that was going wrong, and now they have a chance to really improve on it. I have a feeling that they maybe chose a little bit better of a matchup. I think that the Daisy into Greninja might have been a little bit more difficult, especially with the fact that one wants to play on stage and one wants to play off stage, and the other wants to keep you off the stage as much as possible. So really playing into some of the strategies of the opponents, but I think that they're going into this one with a little bit more knowledge.
And along with that, I know I brought this up at the start, but I want to focus on that mindset again. We mentioned how losing that Luigi might have made things really difficult for Kansas to be able to perform well, at least from that mental standpoint. But even then, they performed pretty well all the way through, except for their loss in round 3. They were able to consistently take all 3 stocks of Boise State's players. So clearly, whoever replaced this Luigi is still able to provide that moral standpoint that they need to and continue to keep this team up and running. And I imagine winning that first game will help that mental state of Kansas even more. And hopefully losing game 1 does not hinder Boise State either.
You know, I would wager that, first and foremost, let's give a quick thank you to our sponsor, the Idaho Air National Guard.
What if you could pursue college or your dream career while serving your country and getting amazing benefits? The Idaho Air National Guard. Just 1 weekend a month, 8 months out of the year. You'll get tuition assistance, signing bonuses, healthcare, 0-down home loans, and high-tech job training. All while keeping your civilian life, job, and goals right here in Idaho. Whether you're studying, working, or building your future, the Guard enhances it all while giving you leadership skills and lifelong connections. Ready to have it all? The Idaho Air National Guard is your pathway to education, career success, and purpose.
But
and apparently we're going right into it.
Straight into it. Supersonic looking for a little bit of redemption up against this Daisy. Both players sitting at 3 stocks still. Olimar really looking for some good hits here. Taking Daisy up off the stage, but good grab is going to come through. And that's going to give Daisy just a little bit more control.
Lots of damage being thrown out with the purple pigment. A great parry, but instantly thrown back right after taking on the first stock. That's a great place for them to start.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see, but not if you are Spinky. being in that odd position of where you want to be above them, but Olimar has enough
he's live!
but
He
good
survives on
stuff.
the directional input!
Nice! And he dodges the turn up. That's great, but unfortunately a good aerial is going to give Spinky the the stock.
Good start, though, giving Boise State the first stock. That's just a little bit of that little moral improvement that they needed. Able to avoid getting hit by that down air.
Almost gets tapped by the toes.
Connects back onto the neutral platform, though, just barely. Unfortunately, a great combo coming out by the Daisy. Able to land the red Pikmin.
Unfortunately, Daisy's plant companion hits a little bit harder, especially with that grab and counter. But with so many Pikmin getting thrown, you can easily make up the difference there. Lots of damage coming through from Olimar. Not really finding a whole lot with it. Losing a purple in the process, but has one still back in order to really get some stuff done. Already pushing the advantage as the percentage continues to tick. However, Spink is in a really good spot to take a stock right here if Supersonic isn't careful.
He's just keeping the pressure high, keeping the Pikmin going the entire time. Peach just has to dodge every single Pikmin coming, and they can't handle the pressure. The blue mixed with the white, they just can't keep going right now. Oh, great combo, bringing her up to 74% now.
Good spin to win out of the Olimar. Supersonic just looking for a really good hit right now. Up to 76, but he went over! And that's where Daisy wants you to be. They're right over or right under. And one good tilt's enough to take Olimar out of the stratosphere. And Spink now finds themselves up a stock.
Olimar still in a good place right now with Daisy currently at 76% on that health meter.
Ooh.
Right as I say that, though, great hit, launching now up to 92%. Tries to go for the spike, isn't able to find it. North of purple Pikmin, but he stays alive.
Yeah, nice hits from Olimar, just not anything super substantial.
Not anything super sonic.
You know, I'm going to give you that one, because that one was actually pretty good.
I appreciate it. I try my best. I can't let you have all the thunder with all the
That is
puns.
true. I can't be the only one making puns.
Yeah.
All right, Olimar looking for some good stuff. Supersonic getting a few good hits in, but grabs coming through. The Toad with a little bit of a head slam is going to send Supersonic out of his groove just a little bit. Spink really just needs one more good hit here. Olimar in a not a great spot to be, especially as a lightweight, but a good hit's going to send off stage. But Daisy has such a good recovery, he's able to get right back onto stage.
Tried to go for the spike too, wasn't able to find it. Lots of blocks coming out from either side. The shield just keeping both players alive, but one good side. Takes him now up to 88%.
Ooh, good dash. Already evening up the percentages, needs one more in order to get it to the safe stage, but taken down. Spink manages to take down Supersonic with 2 stocks remaining.
Man, almost got that second stock too. That was so close, but man, that Daisy just kept the pressure high with those combos, just kept them going and going and going, and poor Supersonic could not react to it. Great play, but Daisy, Spink, whatever your name is, just continuing to keep that pressure high and show their prowess.
Hey, even though he lost, he got a stock this time.
He did.
Which is already better than the last one. So we are seeing a little bit of improvement. I think it was a little bit better of a matchup for him. In the end, he did lose it. But I think that it was also tough in the case that Daisy is a very good character to run you down with and has a lot of really good abilities to knock those Pikmin off. And we were just seeing that over and over and over again, and Supersonic wasn't quite able to get up there. But moving on, we're going to see Mata versus Mander, Pokemon versus Pokemon Trainer.
Who will win, 1 Pokemon or 3 Pokemon?
Is this Ash's Greninja up against any
Insert
opponent?
Pokemon trainer here.
Insert opponent
Pokemon
there,
character.
except for the Elite Four, because Ash should have won in Kalos. I don't understand why he didn't. But that's a conversation for another day. Honestly, I think this is going to be good. I think so. Mata has a really good chance here. As long as he is able to get around the Ivysaur bread and butter combo that we were talking about a little bit earlier. Squirtle's going to be a little bit more viable for Pokemon Trainer here, since you're going to be trying to match that speed. Also, Squirtle has a lot of good mobility options. However, Ivysaur is going to be doing the bulk of your damage. You got that grab, you got the up airs. And then Charizard is a good finishing option. However, I do think we're going to see a lot more play out of Mander, a lot more different Pokemon come out, and a lot more switch-ups in his playstyle.
I think as long as Mata takes advantage of Greninja's speed, they'll have a bit of an easier time going up against the Pokemon Trainer, just given the fact that they're able to keep that distance with the range with the water shurikens, and then get up in their face if necessary. So as long as they're able to take advantage of that speed, use those dodges when necessary to avoid getting grabbed and thrown into the stratosphere, I think that will give them a bit of an upper advantage here. So hopefully they're able to do that, but we can't say for sure just yet. Fortunately, right as I said that, though, we lock into this game.
Yes, Mata versus Mander, game 2 of round 2.
Round 2 of game 2
Looking
or game 2
to even
of round?
things up. Mata, Mander, two very similar sounding names. Forgive us if we get mixed up, but here we go. So starting off strong, Mander's going to get the first hit. However, Mata, very quick to return it. Said, you know what, you gave me this nice gift, but I'm giving it right back to you. Unfortunately for him, Mander's like, no, I insist. Gives a lot of that damage back. Great counter is going to stop the down air from doing more damage.
Ooh, almost pushes through that entire shield, but Squirtle quickly follows up with a return combo. Man, the pressure is high. Switching to Bulbasaur.
Venusaur.
Sorry.
Wait, no, it's Ivysaur.
We were both
I
wrong.
was also wrong. To be fair, that whole while Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, and Venusaur are the best trio in Kanto, they all look the same. Charizard is not going to take that disrespect, though. He's the favorite, and he is going to get the stock after chasing off stage, and that's why you got to be careful with Charizard. For a heavyweight, he's got one of the best recoveries of the category.
And just knocked poor Greninja out of his recovery, too. Couldn't do much. Fortunately, returning a bit of damage himself, bringing the Ivysaur now up to 74%.
You know, it's because he used a flying type move and not a fire type move. Okay, Ivysaur looking to shield, trying to find a good opportunity. Is going to find it right there, but a counter is going to result in him going off stage. Is able to get right back on, though. Mata isn't quite able to read the rollout. However, he hasn't found anything. There's that combo once again. Two aerials are going to take Mata up very high.
Good slide. Trying to hit with that up there. Fully charged Shuriken still isn't able to find anything with the dive.
What a hit out of Mander.
That was nasty. I've been saying nasty a lot, but I feel like that really fits what's going on here tonight.
Man, someone ought to take a gander at Mander's play because holy cow, he is really I can't think of a third word that rhymes with Mander, but you get where I'm going with it. Ivysaur is just
from
doing
The Simpsons.
Ned Flanders. So hi diddly ho. This Ivysaur's got to go. Greninja is able to get him off the stage. However, Charizard with a good recovery. Second time's a charm though.
Taking down that first stock, Mata now has something here to work with. Just trying to break that shield even more. But is it quite enough? As Squirtle just slams directly onto him.
The Squirt Turtle is not having any of this funny business. He is there for serious matters and getting stuff done. However, Mata with the Greninja, now that he's on the Ivysaur, Mander hasn't been able to find very much with it.
Lots of damage being brought out with those melee attacks, but the combo
the combo!
Oh, the double!
What a shot out of Mander, and that's going to close things out once again in the two-stock fashion.
They gotta nerf that combo, man. That thing deals so much damage. That is crazy.
I don't think we're getting any. I don't think we're getting any nerfs or buffs until Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe with the new Super Smash or the new Nintendo Switch 2, but. Honestly, Mander played that in the best possible way. You use Squirtle to really lower their options, and then you just hit them hard with Ivysaur or Charizard, depending on which one you got. And I don't really know how you could have played around that. I mean, I'm sure Mander could have told you. We don't have him on stage, so we couldn't.
We'll call him up afterwards.
I'll give him a call. He's
you got his number?
He was my brother's, cousin's, father's, son's, nephew's former roommate.
Cute. I like it. You know. We got some support out in the crowd too.
Someone likes my bad jokes.
Well, actually, you know what? I gotta give you props for that game because I was giggling a little bit. I'm not sure if y'all noticed, but you pulled out some pretty good puns there. I can't even make fun of you for that one. Sometimes, like twice in a blue moon, maybe he's funny. That's real rich, I know, but he's kind of funny sometimes. I only make fun of him every once in a while, but. Moving on from puns, we are going on to the third matchup of Game 2. Melfor on the Bowser up against Riser Mice on the Samus. So a new player coming out this time around with a new character. I'm excited to see how Samus plays up against the Giant Lizard. I mean, she does fight a lot of giant lizard creatures.
Well, I mean, Ridley is like her main antagonist, and that is a pretty big lizard.
It's a pretty big lizard. So, you know what? Maybe she'll be in a pretty good spot here. But also, Melfor, he's a big lizard who hits really hard. So,
however, this is going to be a little bit more difficult for Melfor. Riser Mice playing Samus has a lot of options to really zone him out. Samus has the strongest projectile in the game when fully charged, has a lot of escape options with her down special, which is the bomb, has her up B or her up special, which can be used out of shield, a lot of really good options to get heavyweight characters off. However, if Melfor is able to close the distance, Riser Mice might as well just be an empty soda can because because Bowser can just crush it.
I feel like, hey, production, can we get like a soda can crushing sound effect to go along with that?
Oh,
just in case he brings it out again. I mean, he's not wrong there, you know. Samus will get folded. But I think what Melfor really needs to depend on here with the Bowser's taking...
You should have known.
Sorry, I got a faint no from Prod. Thanks, guys. They're so mean to me. Anyways.
You should have told him beforehand.
Well, I didn't know you were going to make a soda can
I didn't either. I just do this stuff as it goes. I fly by the seat of my pants.
Anyways, like I was saying.
That barely hit me.
I know, I wasn't looking. I didn't play baseball. There's a reason I'm casting for esports and not playing baseball.
Well, Boise State doesn't have a baseball program.
That's not my point, Bryce. I'm going to throw something else at you, but I don't have anything that won't hurt, so I don't want to be mean. Anyways, for the third time, like I was saying, Bryce Jensen. Melfor will have to take big advantage of the platforms here. I want to go off of the thing you mentioned with the very powerful charge shot. And considering the fact that he's a lot slower, being that heavyweight character, if he gets caught off guard on that first layer, then he's going to be put in a pretty tough spot. So honestly, we got to hope they're not on a map that doesn't have any platforms. Because I feel like that's really what's going to keep Melfor alive and well in this situation.
You know, I would almost argue the opposite.
Really?
Because of the fact that you have so many different platforms. You have a lot of different angles of attack. Samus also has a few good options to get you away that are melee focused. A lot of her tilts involve explosives. So it's going to be a really difficult balancing act of getting in close, but not in a position where you're going to get screwed over by being too high or too low. So if Melfor is able to get it done, we're playing on a flat-ish map, the Animal Crossing one. Charge shots are already coming out. 26% is nothing to scoff at. He's going to cancel the second one.
Oh, Fire taking her down to 32% now. Blows are being traded. Good block on that projectile. Man, she's just taking prime advantage of having that projectile.
Yeah, but like you just saw with that one, being on that platform is a little bit of a detriment, but a good grab is going to bring it a little bit closer to even. Melfor looking to sort of even this game out, wants to find at least 2 stocks here, or in the best case scenario, takes 3 while only losing 1 or none.
But he's the 2-stock guy. He always takes 2 stocks. That's just how it goes. Ooh,
that is true.
Faces the wrong way again, but unfortunately, she almost prepares for it that time. Good follow-up. Oh, a good shield.
Shield is almost broken. That could have been bad for Melfor, however, he's able to live it.
Oh, man, he's just dodging these like there's no tomorrow. Tries to go for the grab, isn't able to find it. Follows up with a combo, though. Doing pretty well in damage. Unfortunately, he's falling behind a little bit. That poor shield is taking a beating, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's what they're for. They're meant to take damage, so that way you don't. However, he's still doing a good job at getting that damage up. Ricermice really struggling to find anything that's going to kill. Doing a lot of damage, but not finding that kill potential. But a good command grab comes through, and that's going to be almost off the stage. Charges up a shot, uses the bomb, tries to get through, but the recovery is punished off the stage once again. Not quite enough to send to the blast zone. Not quite reading the rollout that well, but a good shot's going to come through. Bowser now sitting at 150%, but a command grab once again.
There she goes.
Sat on.
That's always the hardest hitting one. That's when he just does a double flip and then just slams you into the ground.
Oh, good grab. Goes to the up throw. Lots of damage coming through.
Up tilt.
Already getting things up really high, up to 63 already.
Did he break that bomb with his bare hand? Did I see that correctly?
Maybe. I actually don't know if the bomb can be broken before it explodes.
I don't know. Maybe it's just perfect timing. I wouldn't put it past Bowser to be able to blow up a bomb and survive it.
I mean, he is basically a bomb. One of his moves is Bowser Bomb, but of course that's just him sitting on you. But it doesn't really matter because a good shot is going to get Bowser off of Samus's back, and a good forward air is going to finish it out.
He's able to dodge that projectile, but he can...
2 shots.
I can't even speak right now. That was a crazy combo.
The bombs are going to do a little bit to sort of space out the recovery, but shots are coming through. Good grab goes out. Good aerial from KU.
The combo is just unmatched. Tries to go for the bomb. He rolls away from it into the big thing.
Into the slam. Not enough to send off. A good shot.
Barely hits with that shot, though. There goes another one.
But
down to 1 stock.
He gets flicked away like a bug on a horse. Wait, did that thing just bounce off the shield?
I didn't know if that was a thing that could happen, but apparently it is.
Oh, learn something new every day, I suppose. Oh, good dodge.
Iframes keeping him alive through that projectile. Tries it with the whip, another grab. He's able to land directly on the platform, but gets hit by the next shot. Dodges the bomb, tries to go for the spinny spin, but isn't able to connect. Saves up that projectile. Oh, but she goes for the whip instead.
Manages to mash out of the grab, which is easy in the low percentages, but the bomb comes through. Big damage, setting Samus up to already a very dangerous spot.
Look at him go.
Bowser. being thrown out off stage, forced to use recovery, gets back on stage, but a good out of shield. There's that up special out of shield option that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Such a safe move since you can use it out of complete protection,
Ooh,
but it's not going to save you from an up tilt.
Tries to go for another one, isn't able to find the connection. Good block. Oh, we're close. Almost able to get the 2 stocks like he's known for. Is he able to get?
There we go.
Oh,
No,
but she
not
stays alive
quite yet.
With the directional info, he just needs to get one more swing, and she is down for the count. One more good hit, and he'll continue doing what he does best, able to block the projectile.
Oh, no!
There he goes.
Manages to get hit at the very last second of his out of his super armor.
But goes for the swipe right out.
Yeah, he's not going to let her keep going with that for very much longer.
Timing.
A good punch in the teeth is going to result in Boise State taking 4, putting it within tie territory. However, are they going to make it there?
They'd have to win every single stock in order to get it to a tie at the very least. So they're not in a great spot right now. And I actually don't know what happens if we get a tie.
Well, then it's just
go again.
One team puts them up, the other team puts them up. It's a 1v1. The winner wins.
All right. Well, there you have it. Now, I do want to focus on this before we get a little too sidetracked, but we are now down to the final round. Gokis is going to be coming back up again. This time, instead of us seeing the mirror match against Olimar, he is instead going up against them instead. And maybe Gokis will have a better time going up against this Olimar. Maybe he'll be able to set the traps, be able to get this Olimar into a good place that he needs to be in. It's hard to say for sure, but I like to imagine that having 5 million grenades is going to go pretty well against the 5 million plant creatures. But
I mean, the good thing for Gokis that may not be so good for Raisin Loaf is that Gokis plays against an Olimar player every single day for practice.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I have a feeling that he knows the matchup a lot better than a lot of people do, considering you kind of got to play him every day. And I feel like that's something that Spinky really demonstrated earlier on against Supersonic. Just knowing the matchup really well, knowing how to play against him. I mean, you play against him almost every day. You almost have to know the matchup because you don't want to lose to your own teammate.
And looking at the roster, too, I didn't see any snakes, like, at all on any of Kansas's players.
I hope you didn't. It's a Discord document. There shouldn't be any snakes.
What am I going to do with you, Bryce? What am I going to do with you? I don't have anything good to throw at you right now. I have an expo marker that I could throw at you right now, and it's really, really tempting.
I'm gonna let the pumpkin take over. I'm gonna just take my leave. I think my casting career is over with that joke.
No, get back on. I ain't doing this alone. I don't care what you say. Get back here, right? All right, guys. It's just me and the pumpkin, I guess. Oh, it's back. He's back.
I changed my mind. I'm not letting the
You're
fruit
a liar.
I'm not letting this this fruit do a better job than me. Because pumpkins are a fruit, believe it or not.
That's a gourd.
Well, technically, they're part of a gourd, but the larger family of plants that they're in is a fruit because they have seeds on the inside.
This is a plant. In case any of you guys didn't know, that is a plant.
This is totally a
That's
plant.
actually, that's the next Pikmin. That's the next Pikmin that Supersonic is bringing
It's totally
out.
not a hollow piece of plastic. But I do think it's going to be interesting because both of these guys are going to be playing somewhat similar games, setting up traps,
Throwing things a lot.
Yeah, basically just throwing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
However, Snake does a lot more damage.
He
so
does.
he has a very good shot to tie things up here. If he can do it without losing a stock, he loses one stock, and
It's
that's
game over.
GG. Kansas wins.
It's a tough spot to be in. I can see the stress on his face.
One stock.
I would
One
be
opportunity.
stressed. Are you making an M&M reference right now?
Personally, I'm more of a Kit Kat fan. Twix are good too. Specifically the left ones.
I'm running thin on my patience for this man right now. You know, I wasn't supposed to cast tonight. I wasn't supposed to.
The north one's pretty good too, but you know.
Hey, Bryce?
Yes?
I'm really tempted right now, all right? I'm really tempted. This could go directly onto your forehead. Or, actually, I think it'd be better if I just scribbled something on your forehead instead and just made you sit there for the rest of the stream with it. How's that sound?
I'd like to see you try, little man.
Wow, he's just taunting me. I mean, I am
First
not
off,
going to.
you're all the way over there.
I am.
I have a head start. I'm right next to the stairs.
Yeah, well, you're right, because I'm not actually, I don't feel like getting up from my
I also
chair,
have
so.
Lime Pass, so I could get away very easy. But I'm not going to.
You're not going to.
Because this game is going to be pretty exciting. We got Snake versus Olimar.
Does he? I feel like this is the first time I've seen Gokis in the leopard print fit.
Yes.
He's got a style for this last one.
Yeah, he's
got
got
to make
style
himself
on
look good. Well, we'll see how it goes. He's so far hit himself with a couple of his grenades so far. Not looking great, but he's able to just keep killing the Pikmin over and over again. It's a massacre over here.
Yeah, lots of damage coming through with the Olimar.
Ooh,
oh,
good
but
knee
lots
right
of
in the
damage
face.
really just traded back and forth. Like we're talking about, tons of grenades being thrown out back and forth. Goki's going to explode on his own grenade, unfortunately. Nothing really going to be found through it. However, he is still hanging in there just a little bit. He doesn't need to be at the same percentage. He's going to die at a lot higher percentage than Olimar is, and Raisin Loaf knows it, so he's trying to pile on the damage while he still can.
Yeah, Olimar only has a couple different attacks that I've really seen that you can get good stock taking from, so he's got to land one of those two in order to make it happen.
Yeah, big damage coming through from Gokis. Is able to get it up a little bit higher, but 41 isn't going to be enough to kill unless you get really lucky, so you really need to find a way to get in there.
Rolls directly into the side light there from the Olimar.
Yeah, Snake lacks a lot of the options to kill the Pikmin off of him that aren't his shield, so he's going to struggle when those things attach, but already at 36% with a blue and a purple in his arsenal, it's going to be a lot harder for him to get
There it
anything,
is.
and there's the stock taken.
That would be the final stock for Kansas to win this one, but Gokis is still going to get a chance to show off.
Gokis get the
skill.
revenge.
Yeah. I'm just rooting for him to at least be able to take a couple stocks before the night's over.
Nah, he'd win.
He'd win. So far, able to deal some pretty significant damage. Now up to 81%, the Olimar is falling behind a little bit. Misses the purple Pikmin throw, but falls into his own grenade yet again. There's a tough spot to be in. Finally gets the other purple Pikmin, though, as he lands straight onto one of his planted nades.
Oh,
he
almost
misses the
gets him with it,
charge.
but he just throws his purple off the edge. Man, he must really hate eggplants or purple fruits in general if he's just willing to throw them away. However, he is getting
hates
Gokis up to the
plums,
same
guys.
amount of percentage. Raisin Loaf is in a good spot to kill here if Gokis isn't careful.
Both of them are in good spots, honestly. Both at about 100%. Parrying the grenade, that was a very satisfying sound in my brain.
Yes, the parry sound is always fun to hear. But, ooh, C4 blows up right in his face, and he's not going to have the recovery.
Tragic. Oh, he's able to knock him up to 122%. The Olimar's very high on that damage percent right now. Just a couple more good grenades. Maybe a good
Ooh,
C4.
there it goes.
There we go.
A kick to the face is going to break the glass right in his eyes, and that's going to result in a stock.
Yeah, that's just what they wanted. One more stock to take things out before they go. A good grab. I think he just broke his neck twice in a row, actually. That's a real crunchy
Broke
sound.
2 different parts of his neck.
There's at least 3 vertebrae in there somewhere.
Yes.
So.
I did also take anatomy and physiology. I won't disclose the grade I got in anatomy and physiology, but I did take it.
I took psychology. Does that count? It's close to the brain.
It is pretty close. It is a part of the brain. However, what isn't a part of the brain is whatever goes.
Where are you going with this?
Trying to
good
getting
combo.
a lot of damage in.
The
Gokis
kick
is starting to
straight
find
into the
his
grenade.
groove a little bit. Oh, thrown right into it just a little bit too early in order to wait for the explosive. Kills a purple Pikmin in the process, though, so that's going to be a good piece of utility gone from Raisin Loaf.
Ooh, another good kick. Now to 118%. The Goki's just doing his best to show off and try and deal as much damage as he can. Misses the grab. I think Olimar also missed the grab, if I'm not mistaken. They both just trying to grab each other. Can't find it. Ooh, a good nade. Bring him up to 129%. One more good tilt, one good C4 rocket. Something could take him down to his final stock.
A stiff breeze will take this guy out. And Gokis just needs to find one single attack that'll get through.
Ooh,
it won't be
tries
a
to go for the
grenade, but a
spike.
C4 might
Charges
do
it up.
it.
Oh.
Oh, he cancels out the tilt. What a good play. Just lays him down really nicely in preparation as a rocket.
177. Oh, he's trying to hit him. Isn't able to find it on the silly little swirl. It's close. Tries to go for the up tilt. Isn't able to find it. Oh, grenades everywhere. Gets hit by one of his own. Doesn't get hit by the second. Another good grab. Lays him down.
There we
Slams him into
go.
the sky. That's 2 stocks down.
Lays him down just to kick him in the teeth, and that's what you want to see as
He curb
Gokis,
stomped
or it's
him.
any
That's
sort
what
of
just
snake.
happened. That was a curb stomp if I've ever seen one.
Made him bite the curb.
Man, this music is so heavenly, so dramatic for this final stock for both sides. Goki's just gotta hope he can get one more, show off his moves. Olimar misses the purple Pikmin, connects with the blue. Is trying to hit the grenades, trying to hit the explosions. Good block.
Oh, good
up
hits.
swipe.
Good hits from the tilt. Not going
Ooh,
to find
good
much from
dodge.
it, but a punch in the teeth is going to give him a little bit of room.
Smacks the rocket with the purple Pikmin. Didn't set it off somehow.
Oh, he got it with the red.
Oh,
and he lost it.
Oh.
He lost his recovery, and that's going to lead Kansas to taking the final round. Kansas wins 2-0.
What a great play out of Goki's there in that final game, though. Such a high-pressure situation to be in. But right there at the end, Olimar was able to take a couple more stocks and win them the game, now bringing Kansas up to 2-2. And now Boise State 3-0, or other way around, 1-3. You know what I mean. The numbers, they change. You know, the numbers change. They do that sometimes. You know how it is.
The numbers, AJ. What do they mean?
I don't know, man. I just work here. I think my saddest note about tonight is unfortunately seeing Melfor lose that two-stock streak that we see him on.
Well, he did still take at least 2 stocks.
Oh no, he did. He took the 3. He did great, but he lost that second one, and that was what made me sad the most. Is because we knew him for the 2-0 or the 2-3, but he just went down, and that hurt my heart. Not dissing him, obviously, but just a sad place for us casters to watch here.
Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of odd matchups tonight that I don't think they were really prepared for. However, congratulations to Kansas State for the win. Good job, Boise State. You guys hung in there in that second round a lot better than the first one. And overall, what a fun match to watch.
Hey, still great thing to experience, but we're not actually quite done yet. We've got one more thing going on. We're going to go on one more break, and then we are actually interviewing Melfor. So don't go anywhere if you want to see him.
Snake, no grab comes through, but also Ivysaur misses it as well. Mander not quite able to find anything significant except for that grab. Yes. What a grab into an aerial. That's enough to do it, but right on the landmine.
Insane.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think but you get where I'm going with it. Ivysaur is just doing Ned Flanders. So hi diddly ho. This Ivysaur's got to go. Greninja is able to get him off the stage. However, Charizard with a good recovery. Second time's a charm, though. From KU.
The combo is just unmatched. Tries to go for the bomb. He rolls away from it into the big
into the slam.
slam.
Not enough to send off. A good shot.
Barely hits with that shot, though. There goes another one.
But
Down to one stop.
Olimar really looking for some good hits here. Taking Daisy up off the stage, but good grab is going to come through. And that's going to give Daisy just a little bit more control.
Ness's health at this point, 90 to 110%. Just a couple more good swings to take down the Ness. Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. I'm your host, AJ Pepley, but I'm not actually joined by Bryce this time. We are here for an interview with the man of the hour, Melfor. I am so glad to have you up here, man. I loved watching your gameplay tonight. You are such an incredible player, especially up against that really, really tough Samus fight. I do actually want to start off with that, if you don't mind.
All right.
I want to know what specifically made Samus such a difficult contender for you. What do you think made it such a hard fight, and how do you think you were able to combat it so well?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing about Samus is just like her projectiles, because it's like Bowser doesn't really have any moves that's kind of like, oh, this beats Samus's charge shot, or this beats Samus's like arm cannon, or whatever her side B is called. It's like I just kind of have to like walk slowly or run up and shield, had to avoid it. But I think the trickiest part about the matchup overall is just like the fact that Bowser can never go off stage in that matchup.
Yeah, your poor shield did take a huge beating during that matchup. That thing was getting broken all the time, and anytime Samus did get you off stage, it really threw a wrench in your plans, I could tell. But even then, you were able to still find those good attacks. You were able to get a lot of blocks on that that arm cannon. So even then, I'd say you did a pretty good job against it. Secondly, was there any concern going into tonight's game, and was it shown? Did you see any of that concern in tonight?
I think my biggest concern was that a lot of the team had really, really bad matchups for both of my characters. Like, for example, Olimar is Banjo-Kazooie's worst matchup. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go Banjo today. I have to go Bowser. And then when I saw that there was a Samus, I was like, wait, this is a really, really bad Bowser matchup too. What am I going to do?
Yeah, just a lot of tough situations for you and for the rest of the team. We were talking up here, looking at so many of these different matchups, and it's like, this is just a hard place for you guys to be in.
Yeah.
It was just like the skill, obviously, from Kansas was unmatched, but a lot of that matchup, that composition, really made it difficult for you guys to shine in that way that we had seen, for example, last week. And finally, I want to ask you, what makes you love Bowser so much? Given the fact a lot of people, they say he's not as great, but you continue to amaze us. We like to call you the two-stock Steve Slayer. Just given the fact that you take a lot of 2-3 matchups, you've always shut up the Steves. What do you think makes him shine, and why do you like him so much?
I like the fact that he's the heaviest character in the game. That makes it so that like he can live longer than a lot of other fighters. It makes it so that he can like hit really, really hard. But the main thing I like about him is his simple moveset. He's very simple. He doesn't really have a combo game. He's just kind of more hit once, hit twice, then kill kind of feel. And even though that sounds like a casual player talking, it's like but the main thing about that like helps me play well with him is that I get to focus on my opponents more than I actually had to focus on myself, because I have to like if when I'm fighting Samus with Bowser, the main thing I was thinking was like, okay, I don't have to think about my moveset. I just have to think about what is Samus doing and how can I stop that.
I like it. I actually don't play Smash a lot, but I recently learned that I'd probably end up being a Bowser main, because I do like the idea of hitting things once and they go flying across the screen. So I do actually completely agree with you on the fact that he is very simple yet very effective. You know how to play him right. And frankly, you do play him right. I imagine there's a lot of pride given the fact that a lot of people hate Bowser for some reason or another, but you continue to show that he is a great character if you know how to play him correctly.
I honestly think that Bowser is a lot better than people give him credit for, because recently a lot of people have been like, oh, Bowser's not as good as the start of the game, or oh, you play a better character with Banjo. But I honestly think that Bowser and Banjo are kind of even. I think there's not really one or the other that's better. I think they're both on the same spot. But it is a little nervous playing what people think is the worst character on the team. That is a little bit nervous sometimes.
Yeah, but then you prove them wrong and it feels great, right?
Yeah,
I
it
imagine.
does.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming up stage here in Melfor. It was great to talk to you tonight, and I hope all of you out there enjoyed it too. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's game, and make sure you show up next week as we continue the PEC tournament.